Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm looking at Crash Bash. Developed by Eurocom Entertainment and released in 2000, this was the first game in the series not made by Naughty Dog, who had previously created the masterpiece that was, and still is, the first 3 games, and finally tipped their cap with the phenomenal CTR. Eurocom stepped up and decided to tackle a party game, similar to CTR taking inspiration from Mario Kart and other similar kart racers of the time. Crash Bash took inspiration from Mario Party, with new developers at the helm, a new shift in gameplay, and a new century. Crash Bash was all set to be another great game, if its ambitions were matched by proper execution. But ultimately, what we got was chaotic, fun at times, punishing, tedious, and a monotonous mess that remains fun in short bursts but painfully cruel in others. So let me explain why. Crash Bash begins with a cutscene in space where Aku Aku and Uka Uka argue over who's prettier. Eventually Aku Aku suggests that the bickering must come to a complete end, to which Uka Uka agrees and suggests a fight to the death. But Aku Aku says no because the ancients won't allow it. Anyways, they both agree on a contest of teams, good versus evil, Aku Aku's team versus Uka Uka's team, so they summon their players. Aku Aku can only summon Crash and Coco, whereas Uka Uka summons Cortex, Embryo, Kong, Dingodile, Tiny Tiger, and... who the fuck is this guy? Why do I hate him and find him so sexy at the same time? Moving on. Aku Aku whinges about the teams being uneven, so Uka Uka's like, pick 2 of mine I guess, I don't give a shit. So Aku Aku picks Dingodile and Tiny Tiger. Okay, I can understand Dingodile to a certain degree, but Tiny straight up fantasizes about squashing the bandicoots on a daily basis. So just, why? Maybe Aku Aku likes Tiny the same way I like Rillaroo, who knows? But with everyone ready to go and the 2 teams in place, we dive in. So, as stated, this is a party game, therefore each level is a mini-game of sorts. We start in our warp room in space, and the first level is Crash Ball, a fun little pinball-esque mini-game. 4 characters ride back and forth in these paddle hovercrafts and must keep balls from passing them. You can move your paddle left and right to block incoming balls, multiple balls spawn and ricochet around the arena, speeding up over time, and this gets really fast and very hectic. Each time a ball enters a player's goal, they lose a point, represented as lives at the top of the screen. This game requires you to win a total of 3 times, and overall I really like this one. It's fun and you can really get into it, especially the more chaotic things get. The next level is Polar Panic. 4 characters ride around a small icy arena on little polar bears, akin to Polar from Crash 2. But here the goal is to knock every other player off the ice and into the water. We have a charged boost we can use, but we have to be careful as this can backfire on us easily, especially since we're on slippery ice. The charged boost have a recharge time and delay, so Crash can charge multiple times while the likes of Kong have a much stronger charge but can only use it once before needing a full recharge. There are also power-ups we can grab. The lightning bolt zaps every other player, leaving them immobile for a few seconds, and the weight crushes whoever is carrying it, so the weight is very risk reward. Again, I like this mini game. It's a fun little game and can offer a little challenge at times. The winner is the last person on the ice, and the game has to be won 3 times before obtaining the trophy. Level 3 is Pogo Painter. The goal here is each player hops around on pogo sticks painting each square they land on with their designated colour. Hitting these purple crates will clear all their painted squares and add their total to their score. There are power-ups like the rockets, which are used to fire at other players to slow them down, the speed shoes, which are miles better, allowing you to fly around the little arena painting squares ridiculously fast, and the arrows, which paint an entire line, row or column for you. The player with the most points when the time runs out wins. Again, this is a fun little mini game and I don't mind it one bit. Win 3 times to earn a trophy. Level 4 is Jungle Bash, and in this level the goal is to beat the crap out of each other by throwing crates. We're able to throw regular rock crates, TNT which starts the countdown the second they're lifted, and Nitro which we avoid but try to get other players to fall into or explode near them with another crate. We can also kick crates at other players or just kick them directly. We can replenish our health with Wumper Fruit which spawns every few seconds, and this one is alright. It's not bad, but I definitely don't enjoy it as much as the others. I'll get to the bosses later, so for now let's skip the first boss level and talk about the other levels in this game. So in Warp Room 2, the first level is Beach Ball, the second level is Tilt Panic, the third level is Pogo a Go-Go, and the fourth is Space Bash. Yeah, so if the repetition wasn't bad enough, the game just repeats the same minigames over and over again with different skins and slightly different changes, by either adding abilities or taking them away, or by adding in new elements to make things tougher. And I just realized that I mentioned that if the repetition wasn't bad enough without actually mentioning why the repetition was bad in the first place. And well, one of the game's biggest flaws is that each level forces you to play over and over and over again, with trophies, the main collectible, requiring you to win 3 times. This doesn't have to be done in a row, you just have to win a total of 3 times before any other player to beat the level. Crystals and gems only require you to beat the level once, but separately and with a major disadvantage. And relics are just ridiculous. They're not time based. No, if you want a gold relic, you have to beat a level a total of 2 times in a row. If you want platinum, that means beating the level 3 times in a row, consecutively, without fails in between. So yeah, the game gets you to play a certain level over and over and over and over again, and this isn't even counting all the failed attempts. Yeah, get ready to hear that a ridiculous number of times. So you might be thinking, well, that kinda sucks, but I'll just play the game without collecting everything.
But wait! There's more!
Nope. Once you get to the second boss, Berminator, you have to have collected 9 trophies, 6 gems and 3 crystals, just to unlock the level and play it. And this requirement gets worse every boss you face, so yes, in a sense you kinda do have to collect everything if you just want to finish the game. But before I get too far ahead of myself, let me mention some of the other minigame levels we can play. There's also the tank minigame levels like Desert Fox, which is purely luck based in my opinion. There's too much going on. You're gonna get hit repeatedly and fail repeatedly. And then there's the race levels like Dot Dash. These are purely awful in my opinion. You go round and round in circles trying not to fall off the edge, which happens way too easily, especially if other players knocking you off at light speed. And then we have the balloon pop levels, which just in my opinion are really boring. You can get different power-ups again, but this one is just really meh. And as we go on, we get more of the same again, with these levels just repeating and changing slightly. And apart from those, we have the boss levels. So, the bosses in this game aren't that bad. Some are more difficult than others, with the first being Papu Papu, and being relatively easy to beat as always. He'll flip squares on the arena and send in these mini crash things to fight you, and once we deal with them, his shield comes down and we can throw crates at him, and eventually he'll get crushed by a giant crate that just falls on top of him. The next boss, the Berminator, is kind of like Polar Panic. There's a giant bear in a submarine who will launch many robot polar bears. We've got to dodge their missiles and knock them into the water. If you get hit by a missile, you're just gonna die. But if you dodge the missiles on time, knocking these guys in the water is surprisingly easy. Once that's done, we have to aim and launch a rocket at the giant polar bear, and then he'll destroy part of the platform we're on before launching out more mini robot polar bears. Rinse and repeat 3 times and he's beat. Simple enough, but also with just the right amount of challenge. The third boss is the Komodo brothers, and this boss fight is kind of like the tank mini games. We destroy the weapons on their ship, which can be easy enough, but the real challenge is when they come out in tanks and gang up on you. The saving grace here is that you get a mini checkpoint once the second stage starts, so if you die once they come out in the tanks, you don't have to restart the whole thing, which is very nice, and I really like this boss fight. It feels balanced enough that it's not unfair, but challenging enough to keep you engaged. And the fourth and final boss is Nitrous Oxide for some reason. Not that I don't like Nitrous Oxide, I do, he's a pretty cool character. I just don't think he would have been my choice for the final boss in this game. Either way, his boss level is easily the most difficult. In the first stage, we chase him through space in a spaceship, attacking him while dodging his attacks and dodging hazards like mines and walls. Once we beat this stage, we go through a portal to the next stage, which is just a 1v1 crash ball session against Oxide. And my god, you'd think he's the galactic champion of crash ball or something. something because he is very good. Beating Oxide is very difficult as we've got to defend our goals, dodge rockets and the red ball. But once he is beat, we get one of the two endings depending on who we played as. If we play as anyone on Aku Aku's team, we get the good ending where Aku Aku locks away the power crystals and sends Uka Uka packing into a portal. And if we play as anyone on Uka Uka's team, we get the bad ending where Uka Uka takes the crystal's power and Aku Aku tells Crash to hide right before Uka Uka butt fucks the world. The end. In conclusion, Crash Bash has plenty to offer, plenty of fun and plenty of suffering. I don't hate this game at all. In fact, I love it. I believe Crash Bash is a great game, held back by poor developer choices. And I just believe it could have been so much better if there were more variety and if the game didn't force you to play each level so many times. And also, why does the game force you to collect gems and crystals to progress? Why aren't crystals the main collectible given the role they play in a story? And I think the game should allow you to go in and play through the adventure mode while making everything else optional. In terms of replayability, there really isn't any. I rarely play this game's adventure mode, but I do play the multiplayer mode from time to time, as that's just a big old bag of fun with friends and family. And if the game were to be remade or remastered, I'd honestly pick a remake to flush out the flaws and polish it up a bit. I mean, I don't see this ever happening, but if it did, that would be amazing. I'd love to play this game online, but then there's also the fear that the online mode would die after a while like the online of CTR did.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
To put it simply, I like Crash Bash a lot. I don't love it, but I do like it. And well, that's all from me. I really enjoyed making this video. If you enjoyed watching, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to get a free old ban and a free Rillaroo. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Now, I'm off to make love to Rillaroo's face.